This is probably going to be a first, folks. I'm not going to lie. They were 33.5 axle to axle. They were 6 3/8 brace height. They were 4.5 physical pounds of weight. And they created what I think might be the best tuning system ever made. Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. MFJJ here with PodiumArcher.com, looking at the brand new 2026 Hoyt Carbon RX10 Ultra with the new XTS system. First of all, I have bashed and berated Hoyt for a couple of years now about not having a tuning system. And apparently they were listening. They not only did they create a tuning system, they created what I think might be the best tuning system ever made. It's pretty innovative, it's pretty ingenuitive. Not sure if those words are right, but that's the ones I'm using. This pulls on the limb or pushes the limb back and forth on both ends. So you can manipulate a wheel lean and you can manipulate a knock height of your tear. Your bow still needs to be timed, so don't think that you don't have to actually make sure your bow's in time, but it will make small changes to your up and down. There's a full video that we explained this, showed how it worked, did a whole paper tune on it that you can watch on the channel, so I'm not going to get into this anymore here. But what I do want you to do, one, go to Hoyt.com and look up your local dealer locator and go buy this bow from them. Don't buy it from me. I am not here for their business. I'm worried about the online stores. That's it. Please support your local pro shop. They need you. You need them. It's a relationship that you need to cultivate because at some point you're going to have a broken part, some kind of warranty, need something in a hurry, and you need to have a relationship with those people to get that to work. If you're going to buy it online, only if you're going to buy it online, PodiumArcher.com for all those archery needs. $99 and up is free shipping. Coupon code MFJJ may save you a little money. Now, all you dealers out there that just heard me tell them to go buy it from you, please, when you need fill-ins, go to PodiumArcher.com, scroll to the bottom of the homepage, click on the dealer pricing icon, fill out the application, and you can get fill-ins from us at a reduced price. And Podium Archer products actually have a good margin, so give them a chance. I've put my heart and soul into those, and hopefully you guys like them as much as I do. But give me some support, because I've been giving you support for a couple of years now. I'd appreciate it. So, this bow has full integration. Everything you'd want to be able to bolt on, snap on, clamp on, other than maybe a hook thing on the top to pull it up and down a tree. Outside of that, it does it all. It's got laterally supported cables, aggressive draw cycle, modular quarter-inch adjustments, 3 let-off position adjustments, limb legs or go sticks, call them whatever you like, front mount pick, rear mount IMS, lower stabilizer position, upper stabilizer position, integratable V-bar, and it's the lowest, lightest V-bar bracket that I've ever seen. Integrated into the bow, 2-piece low-profile quivers. I don't know what more you want Hoyt to do to make your bow more user-friendly with their equipment. So this is a 33.5-inch axle-to-axle bow with a 6 3/8-inch brace height. Those are nice numbers. I like that. 4.5 pounds without the little weight on there, which is a little bit on the heavier side for a carbon fiber bow, but try to keep in mind you make a limb pocket with a bunch of parts in it, it's probably going to weigh a little more. 340 feet per second, 27 to 31-inch draw length adjustment, 50-pound peak, 60-pound peak, 65-pound peak, 70-pound peak, 75-pound peak, and 80-pound peak options, 10-pound range, and a $2099.99 price tag. Now, I know I have said no bow should cost over $2,000. But I did give a lot of high praise to what PSE put out this year, and it doesn't have a tuning system, and it's only $100 different. So I don't know. We might be arguing that value when that's under $2,000. So let's measure some of this stuff and see what we get. All right, axle to axle, we're looking for 33.5. Like the specs of this bow are just awesome. I love the specs of this bow. Ready? There you go. 33.5. Good. All right. Let's check our brace height at 6 3/8. 6 3/8 it is. I'm seeing a theme here with the Hoyts. It looks like everything's got like an 1 3/4, 1 7/8 reflex. Just under 2. Good. Okay. Okay, so we're dancing between 4.8 and 4.7. 2/10 on there. Yeah, I think you're right there. 4.7. Yeah. That's 4.5 pound bow. So, all right. I'm sorry, mama. I never meant to hurt you. Never meant to make you cry, but tonight I'm cleaning out my closet. That's like spot on 30. All right, so it looks like we're spot on 30. Like, I think this is the first bow of theirs this year. I checked it was dead nuts, but I could be wrong. Right on 30. Looks like the loadout point's about 35. Oh, God. Rah! All right, so we have the RX10 Ultra XTS tuning system 2026 Hoyt. We're looking for 340 feet a second at 70 pounds 30 inches and a 350 grain arrow. Here we go. You know, for this being a stiff cycle, it sure draws really smooth, I think. .336. 337. 337. I almost want to call it 338, but no. That was 338 up there twice. We're going to call 337 on that. It's a fucking smoke show. 298. 298. Una más. Still average 298. Now those are both 297, but if you average it out, it's 298. Now let's use some adult arrows. 650 grain Ranch Fairy approved arrows. 251. 251. One more, and then we'll go ahead and change this to 29 inches so you can get an inch by inch variance and know what you're going to lose per inch. 251. So we'll take that average. We'll go change this to 29 and give you that next measurement. 450. So we are now at 29 inches, 450 grain arrows, 70 pounds. This will give you the variance of every inch by inch adjustment that you're going to make to figure out how much slower the bow will be at, say, 26 or sorry, 27 or 28, that kind of thing in here. But before we talk about that, not everybody can afford a $2,000 bow. In fact, most people can't afford a $2,000 bow. That's why I created the used bow category on our website. We have a national trade-in program. It's up and running. We're still getting the kinks ironed out of it, so if it's not perfect right now, I apologize. We're trying to get it better. But we are taking in bows, inspecting them, putting new strings and cables on them from gas or the factory, depending on which one makes more sense to the bow itself. Certain ones are going to do better one way than another. And reselling them to the public directly to you. So if you got a boat you want to trade in, they'll give you a credit at podiumarchery.com. And you brands out there and shops out there that have some old inventory, you can trade them in too. Get a little credit at podiumarchery.com. Get your fill-ins from us. All right, here we go. $291. $291. One more. $291. Try to FaceTime me. Ty Jordan.
So with this tuning system, you just adjust either the top or the bottom, correct?
Are you trying to adjust your knock height?
No.
Or left to right?
Getting a right chair, so adjusting left to right.
Okay, so you adjust both limbs on one side of the bow for left to right. So what you're effectively doing is you're pushing the limb in or pulling the limb out, which is moving your wheeling left or right. If you do the top completely or the bottom completely, that's for a knock point high, knock point low tear, but that's not actually adjusting your timing. It's manipulating like your tiller, which will give you a small change, but not a big change if you have an up and down. You should always do your timing traditionally.
Gotcha. Okay, that's exactly what we needed to know. No.
Yeah, no worries. I'm literally doing the speed test on the RX10 Ultra as we speak.
Oh,
Your timing was good, and you're going to be in the video, buddy, because Jeff's got the camera in my face right now.
Perfect.
All right. Now we're going to set this down to 65 pounds for the realistic aero speed. T-Bone approved aero speed for the record. If you don't know who T-Bone is, you've been living under a rock. But the reality of this is the average dude's bow setup is 29 inches, 65 pounds. The average dude runs 29 inches, 65 pounds and a 450 grain arrow. That doesn't mean that you're different and you're wrong or something like that, but that is the most common configuration in the sport. And I would like, as would the rest of us that do this for a living, would really love it if bow brands would advertise that number or have it on their product somewhere so the average guy can see a number that he's really going to actually potentially achieve, so he knows that his bow is doing what it's supposed to be doing instead of this hyperinflated number that almost no one's going to use. So please, bow brands, realistic arrow speed. T-Bone said so. Okay, we now are set at realistic arrow speed, 65 pounds, 29 inches, and a 450 grain arrow. Please, bow brands, advertise this. $281. It's still $281. It's a pretty weird variance there, but looked like it looked a little funny going through there. All right, we'll shoot one more, give you an average, and then we'll get you a sound test. $281 average. Let's see how loud she is. 82. Looks like we'll have to give it an 82 average for sound. We'll put her in the Torquematic 5000 and see how she bucks. You are still at this point, you're hiding from this thing? Torquematic 5000, here we go. Jeff's hiding behind something firm. That is 5 pounds, 15 ounces. £5 pounds, 13 ounces. £5 pounds, 8 ounces. So we'll give you 512 for an average, which is great. It's not torquey. All right, so we are at 337 feet a second for a 6 3/8 inch brace height, 33.5 inch bow. I gotta tell you folks, that's pretty freaking appealing to me. That's an awesome bow. I really am. I'm very, very impressed, very amazed. Those are, like I said, great numbers, tuning system. Don't get me wrong, I wish a carbon bow was lighter than 4.5 pounds. The type of tuning system they have is going to have some weight to it, and I think you'll notice, I haven't gone back and looked, but I'm pretty sure all their bows are a little heavier this year than last year, and that's the main change because that is going to add some weight. If it's 1/10 of a pound, I'll take 1/10 of a pound for that system because that system does work quite well. All right, 337 overall speed, 298 at 450, 291 when you went down to 29 inches. So that's 7 foot a second drop. So you can average 7 feet per second per inch down for speed loss, which is one of the lowest ones. And that's one thing I did notice on almost all the Hoyts. They had very little speed loss compared to most numbers. So at a shorter draw length, their bows are probably faster than some other ones that might start at this speed. Something to consider. Realistic arrow speed at 281 feet a second. Most common speed that most people want to shoot is 280. Like you're right there. It's like they're hitting a lot of numbers out. 5 pounds, 12 ounces on the Torquematic 5000. Comment down below what you think about that tool. I'm thinking I'm going to have to refine it and make something fancier with like legit digital numbers. My tool does that, but like my hand's not involved and whatnot for next year because I'm getting lots of comments on that. Everybody loves the idea of this thing. So we'll go that route for sure. Let's do some numbers and see what we get here. Speed is a 337. So we're going to have 12 on the speed scale. Weight's 4.5. So we'll give you a 5 on the weight. Tunability. So there is not a timing feature in here. You can change the knock height by screwing in or screwing out one end of it. You do the same thing with your limb bolt technically, but it is a little more precise. It does change your up and down tear slightly, but you should still really adjust your timing. But you can move the left, the right, and the up and down without a bow press. So once you get it set, timed, and good, you should never need to press it again. So that part's pretty awesome. I'll give you a 13 on tunability. Integrations and features. It's like everything. Like missing a hanger or whatnot to hook it on for a bow hook, that kind of thing. There's a couple of those. But outside of that, there's like everything you could ask this to do. We're going to give you an 8. Honesty. All right. This is probably going to be a first, folks. I'm not going to lie. They were 33.5 axle to axle. They were 6 3/8 brace height. They were 4.5 physical pounds of weight. They were exactly 30 inches the draw length. They are rated at 340 and they shot 337. Everything was accurate. Period. Not one fudge, not one lie, not one exaggeration. You did it perfect. How can I not give you a perfect score? Feel. Love the way that bow feels. They do make a 2-piece grip option that I prefer personally over the handle that comes on it. But for a guy who likes a contoured grip, it's really hard to beat. The 2-piece one feels great for me. And the draw cycle is firm. The back wall's great. Nothing feels super aggressive. It's really nice. I'm going to give you a 9 for feel. Design, I have loved the way Hoyt designs their product. They have done all kinds of cool things, which is part of why I gave them so much shit for not having a tuning system, because I really like their product, but the average consumer needs to be able to tune his bow, and they denied them that. So they're giving you everything that you really are asking for in design. And I mean, dry fire test, 10, couldn't break one, 1/4 inch adjustments, 3 different let off settings, the speed you want. I mean, I gotta give you a 9. Value. Now, you are over $2,000. I cannot give you a 5 for value, but I can give you a 4 for value because you're offering everything that your competitor is offering, other than it's not an American-made carbon bow, but it's a different process in which to make this bow than the other one. So I don't think it's a fair comparison, to be honest, to say that. But you're getting speed, tunability, reliability. I got to give you a 4 for value. I really do, which I never thought I would do that, but I'm giving you a 4 for value. Sound, 82 decibels. We're going to go and refresh this at the end of this and check everybody's bows this year to find an average, but right now I'm giving you a 3 for sound. That may get downgraded to a 2 because it was 82. I do think you could add a couple of small things to this bow and probably drop that number to an 81 or an 80, somewhere in there, because there are no limb dampeners on Hoyts. There's no cable dampeners or anything like that. I think you could probably pull some actual noise out of it that's there, but it was an 82 stock, so that's what we got. Appeal. There's so much appealing about these bows. Really is. Like, a lot of good stuff going on there, hard to argue with. So we're going to give you a 4. We'll see what you get. 12, 17, 20, 30, 38, 48, 53, 62, 71, 75, 79, 82. That's a new record, folks, I'm pretty sure. Really impressed, honestly. Phenomenal product. The speeds, the specs, the tunability, and just an 80-year-old brand that's still making a really great product. And it's pretty awesome to finally see a tuning feature in there, because, geez, I yelled about it enough. It'd be awesome that you did it. Thanks a lot, guys. I hope you like this video and other ones like it. Comment down below on what we need to do differently, what we should be testing that we're not. That Hoyt bought this video, because I'm sure I'm going to get some of those down there. But I don't know. Maybe it's just everybody that hates Matthews that does that and not everybody else. Who knows? But hey, you knocked it out of the park. Home run.